Hello, this is Retreat Briefing in April 23rd, and now it's 2024, and today's thumbnail is when will the rebound start and spot ETFs impact on market. So after the halving, Bitcoin is just moving around and it doesn't seem like it will explode what we expected before the halving. And we will gonna have a look at why is like that and when how the BlackRock or Grayscale's Bitcoin ETFs impact the market. So let's start with the Bitcoin premium chart, and right here we had an LNLB signal, so it jumped up and now it's moving around 66k, and this chart was captured around here 2:30 p.m. and at that time it was going all the way down to meet the Goya line. And let's have a look at later with the premium chart for the real time what happened after this, whether it got rebounded or whether it went down. Now this is a dominance chart for Bitcoin, Ethereum, altcoins, and USDT. And you can notice that we have a slight red, which means minus, and at the Bitcoin and also Ethereum and at the altcoins, and the Tether dominance increased slightly. So it seems like after this rebound, now it is having a slight correction. And this is a Goya dominance 1 chart, and if you look at here, it's the score of 2 p.m. and it increased a lot, but we had a stiff, just like a cliff, we went all the way down to 27. So maybe that is implying us that the overall market is starting a correction. I mean, whether besides it's big or small, it just started. And now this is a liquidation heat map for last 24 hours at 2 p.m. So the Bitcoin increased and liquidated a lot of short positions, and Ethereum went to opposite ways. But if you look at the total liquidation amount, so in fact right here, it's $92 million, and that is really, really small. So I think people are avoiding trading for right now, since the Bitcoin is just moving in sideways and Ethereum's on Ripple. Those big major coins are just moving around. So I think they are waiting for a chance to do something big, and I think they thought this is not the right timing. So if you look at the overall portion right here, the long is 49 and short is 42. So it's, if you divide it by 7, it's 7 times 7, 7 times 6. So it's 0. What is it? I don't know what happens to the 7, but yeah, it's not that big difference. So some go up, some go down, just a normal day. But in last 4 hours, all the cryptos now started to get a correction. So they liquidated the long positions. So if you look at here, it liquidated $17 million of long positions, but only $2 million of short positions were liquidated. So I told you that the correction was starting around here at 2 p.m. So now this is a liquidation heat map for the Bitcoin. Now you can look at here and here. This yellow line and those thick green lines are the positions lying. So these positions are probably the long positions, and these are the short positions. So when it had an increase, it liquidated a lot of short positions up here, but while moving in sideways all the way to the down, so it started to liquidate long positions, but it bounced up, and now it seems like it is deciding whether to go. But in the distance, so by the distance, down here is more close, so I think it will probably go down near 66k according to this liquidation heat map. And now this is a Ethereum's liquidation heat map, and right here, it is just moving. It went down and liquidated long and short here, and moving in sideways, and another short here. So Ethereum overall looks like just moving in sideways for a long time. And now this week's main event, we had a US SEC BlackRock BTC spot ETF option approval, so which I told you yesterday. Nothing really did happen. So I think you guys need to wait until Wednesday, and maybe starting from Thursday we will gonna have some changes, since we have an initial jobless claims, and at Friday we have a PCE. Now I brought an article and I fixed it because that's why the title looks like this. So Bitcoin rebound after halving depends on BlackRock. So now, after the halving, there are no special things going on to the Bitcoin right now. But according to the past record, there was a 2 or 3 months of boring sideways period in every halving season. So, for example, a second halving in July 9th at 2016, and the price was at that time was $651. So Bitcoin's price. But after 3 months later, at October 9th in 2016, the price went down to 617, so which dropped about 5% after halving. But at December at 2016, it became a $964, so which increased 48%. And starting from the next year, 2017, at the end of 2017, which is December, it just became 19K. So it increased 2,895% at the end of 2017. So it just started the halving, and according to the historical record, this moving in sideways period, it seems like it is happening every time. And the reason why I wrote that depends on BlackRock is that the effect of Bitcoin spot ETFs is one thing different from the past halvings. And now, as time goes by, the inflow to Bitcoin ETFs now slowly decreased, and even BlackRock started to decrease of inflow starting from April. So the recovery for this spot ETFs may revive the atmosphere faster than the past period and start this bull market again. So I wish those spot ETFs do well in order to increase the Bitcoin's price. And now this one, the Peter Schiff, which I mentioned several times in recent briefings, a gold-loving man, said the recent increase for fee is lowering the Bitcoin's efficiency as currency. So the increase for Bitcoin fee right here is proof of failure. And versus, which means that opposite of this, BitMax research said indicator of popularity and success. So now he was pointing the negative points. This Peter Schiff pointed the negative points for Bitcoin to work as a currency. But the BitMax research said that the $128 to send Bitcoin is not a proof for failure. It is rather a proof of success. But they partially agreed that this high fee will lower the use of Bitcoin and might disrupt a possibility for future. So these two opinions are now having a fight, and we have to know that there's a Bitcoin layer 2, which I mentioned yesterday, such as Stacks, is an improved version of the Bitcoin blockchain. So always keep those in mind. Now this is a RSI heat map, and if you look at here, overall cryptos were over at 60 points, so it was moving around strong in overbought area. But now as time goes by, it came all the way to the down, but not that significant down, but more and more cryptos are now starting to go to the weak place. So maybe after the correction, those cryptos may all fall down. So now let's have a look at our premium chart. So starting with Bitcoin, the current dominance. So here, after this stiff decrease, it went all the way down to 20 points, but now it rebounded to 29, so it's moving around 30 points. And if you look at the score chart of Bitcoin, the score went down and made a cross with the market price, and now it's moving under here. So this is probably expecting a correction after a few, maybe today or tomorrow. So always watch out. So right here, which I showed in the presentation, LNLB up, moving in sideways, gotten support from here, but now it broke through and now it's just moving in sideways around these area, I think. Whoops. So maybe it's just shaking like that. So it is a general sideways movement chart. So the sell line and buy line, support and resist line will be similarly just boring lines. So right here, today's highest point when it rebounded is 67.2k. Those sell 1, 2, 3, so quite a strong resist line. And the first support is yesterday's lowest point. It's just about today, it's 00 p.m. It's 65.6k. So think of these lines. I think it will probably move around here. Now if you look at the Ethereum, so Ethereum increased more than the score expected, and now it's starting to just move in sideways with a little downwards, but the score went way down from here, so maybe it is expecting another correction. So just like Bitcoin had an LNLB, jumped up, met the Goya line once again. Those long tails proved that it eventually failed to break this support, and now it had a rebound. It was supported by this line, but eventually came down and we had an SNS2 signal, so maybe it's falling around here. So if you look at the selling guideline, of course, one here and one at today's highest point, one at yesterday's highest point, 32.35, 32.23. So those two lines are acting as a 3-layer of resist line, and the support is just a few hours before. 3150 is a first support, and second will be this lowest place yesterday. It's around 3114, and that is quite low. So always first to think of moving around here, and if this line breaks, think of moving around here. That will be an easy way to decide. And now Ripple. Ripple also had a cross, so it's moving below the market price. So you can notice that it is slowly going down. So after this L signal and LB signal, same, rebounded, supported by the Goya line. Now it is moving around. So if this line totally breaks, so which means that not the tail part, but the body's middle, the middle of the candle's body part break through downwards to the Goya line, maybe that is the start of a correction. So right now it seems like there is also a possibility to get supported, so we cannot ignore that. So always take care of that. And this big plus candle's highest point, 0.57, is a sell 1, 2, 3. So 3 resist line gathered all up there. And the support line is where it started this increase right here, 530, 0.530. And the second support is 518. And finally, let's have a look at Dogecoin. So it is keep getting crossed around the score chart and the market price, and now the score chart is leading it. Maybe Doji got too much correction. So it was moving in sideways around these areas. And right now, if you look at here, S2, L2, S2, L2. So in the sideways market, this repeats of the signals happens a lot. So you guys need to pay extra attention in the sideways market. So it went down, up, all around the Goya line, just like it's jumping. And now we got an S signal and S2 signal below the Goya line. So it is probably expecting it downwards. So maybe it will go down, and when we have another L signal or something, maybe it's a time to rebound to the Goya line. So that is one strategy. So the sell 1 to 3 line is pretty close, so it's all in the 2 days. So 0.162, 163, 165 is acting as a 3 resist line, and the support line here just an hour before is 0.156 and 0.155, which was yesterday's lowest point, acting as a 2 support lines. So circumstances like this, so which means that sideways market, all those major coins will probably move in sideways for a while, and the altcoins will just go up and down. It keep very chaotic. So I suggest you guys to pay extra attention while trading. Future traders pay extra more attention. So I hope you guys to have a safe trading with our Goya Premium chart. Thank you.